Hello, I'm here with my client Tanya Edgar, and we're going to chat a little bit about the epic work that we've been doing on her email marketing and funnels. Tanya, she helps qualified coaches to build businesses for the first time, and she runs like a group coaching program and all different kinds of things, which we'll talk a little bit about in this chat. So, Tanya, we did a lot and you worked really fast. So let's start at the beginning with the first project that we worked on together, which was your entry level offer, right?
Yes, that's right. So
Yeah,
my
so tell
low
people a bit
ticket.
about what we did.
All right. So I had a low ticket that I'd run before, but there wasn't, it didn't sort of pop off in the way that I wanted it to.
Mhm.
First time I ran it, I think I had about 20 people in. It was not to be sniffed at, but I wanted to expand that. So um, that was the very first thing we worked on together was how can we get more people into the low ticket, but not just that, how can we convert those people into my high ticket group
Yes,
programs? That
which
was
is the whole point.
that is the whole point. Yeah, it wasn't about just having more low ticket.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's great, but it was supposed to be funneling people in. And that was the bit that I said, right, I think we can do better at this.
Yeah.
So you really helped me to refine that email strategy behind the scenes. But more than that, though, Kelly, because it is just so much more than email, like you're being able to tap into your strategy as well is just
Mhm.
so interesting, so valuable. So there was lots of work that we did very quickly that was just easy, quick wins to get the whole strategy together, to get the emails together. But even the way that I was thinking about it or positioning it, you had some really good nuggets in there that just
Cool.
helped me to optimize for that. So when we ran it, it was no more work for me. It was just better prep and better strategy.
Yeah.
And we got 60 people into that. Like I said, there was no extra. It wasn't like I was absolutely,
You weren't doing
you
triple the
know,
work for triple the results, basically.
yeah, it was definitely not anywhere near triple the work, but it tripled the results for sure. Just with some clever behind the scenes stuff and really fantastic email strategy. So we tripled the amount of people into that low ticket, and
Mhm.
then I think we converted it at 8%, which is really good,
Yes, into your higher ticket group
into
program.
my high ticket straight off the bat of that. So people that wouldn't have purchased otherwise
Yeah.
had come into my low ticket that would not have otherwise come into my low ticket
Mhm.
because of the work we'd done and converted into my highest ticket, my group program. So that was the very first thing we did. And I think we were like 3 weeks in when that
Yeah,
happened. And
you
it was
went
like,
fast.
whoa, okay.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
emails, of course, around that. So we did a lot of work on the copywriting for all of these email sequences. So I took what you had before and improved it with the writing and the strategy to make it convert better. So
Yeah.
that was a great first win. But we
Mhm.
didn't stop there, did we? We
No,
carried on.
no, it carried on. It was very action packed in the best way.
It was.
Yeah, then so we were like, okay, that works. So how can we apply it to mid ticket?
Yeah.
So that was the next thing we did. So again, I had run sort of mid ticket kind of. I'd sort of dabbled with it
Dabbled.
previously, and I'd made that at the last time I'd run this mid ticket product. I'd made it was like a very small handful of sales. I think maybe it was 3 sales, and I knew there was more in there, and I hadn't really done enough. So that
Yeah.
was the next thing I said, right, can we do what we just did there? Can we optimize for that?
Mhm.
And this was more about just making those sales. So it was a bit more of a will people buy at this price point? And that was actually something that was really important was will they buy at a higher price point than
Yes,
they bought at before?
because it was a
Um,
jump from the
it's a
entry level
jump.
offer that you've been selling. Yeah.
Exactly, it was a jump. Will they still buy?
Mhm.
And for me, I knew that it was super important for that email strategy to be right behind that because now we weren't just asking people to buy something for £30, we were
Yeah.
asking for a couple of £100.
Mhm.
So that's where I felt like your expertise really came in because you could help me not only put that strategy behind, get the email sorted, but also make sure that we could optimize for people buying at that price point
Yeah.
specifically. So
Mhm.
it's a different thing. It was a very different thing.
And
So
we looked at the sales page as well, didn't we? And the copywriting for that to
looked at
make
all
sure
of the
that was on
sales
point.
page. Yeah, and you gave me some great just bits that I just couldn't see because I was too close to it. You gave me some great tweaks, templates. You just shortcutted me with everything. It was like it would have taken me months to just tinker with it, and you went right. this, and I was able to just get it out there. But the
And get it out
best
there, we
thing.
did whilst you're on holiday skiing. So the next bit is what most people want. So what happened whilst you was on holiday on the slopes, Tanya?
So, so I was literally on the slopes, and it was that moment where you're like, "This is the dream. This is like what everybody wants." I was at the top of the slopes, or I was at apres ski, enjoying myself with a glass of wine, and my phone's going ping,
You've
ping,
made a sale.
ping.
You've made
You've
a
made a
sale.
sale. You've made a sale. I was like, "This is," and I was getting my phone out, going to my husband. Oh, I just made a load of money whilst I'm here, like sipping my
It's the
wine.
dream. Well done.
It was the dream, and the thing I loved the most about it is, again, it wasn't more work for me, it was more strategy. So it was like we got it set up, it was all set up. I did nothing. There was no getting my laptop out on holiday. And I don't think I said this to you, but like the year before, I was taking like sales calls and things on holiday.
Yeah.
So this was such a difference for me to be able to be like, I can go away, it is done, it is sorted, it's going to happen without me. And it happened without me all the way through, people buying, and in the end, again, we tripled. So we tripled the amount of
Mhm.
sales made, and I did nothing. And previously I'd be like dragging myself through just to make a handful of sales, and
Yeah.
this was like, I'm here enjoying a glass of wine at the top of a mountain, and my business is making the sales for me. The amazing emails that we worked on together is doing it for me. So
And you did no social media for that. So I remember you saying the brief was, I just want to test with just email. I don't want to post about it on social. I don't want to publicly promote it. I just want to see what we can get from email. So then you knew that you could rinse and repeat that campaign again in the future as it is.
as is, and that was so magical to be able, and I'm really glad that you kind of supported me to use that strategy, because now we know unequivocally that campaign with zero extra input from me can make sales, and that was really valuable to me, because um otherwise it's like, oh, where's it coming from? But I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, because I didn't talk about it
No,
anywhere.
it definitely
I
came from
didn't.
email and we could track
It
all of
was
that.
literally just email that. So um that's never happened to me before, and that was very exciting. That was,
Well,
yeah.
well done because you did put in the work before you hit the slopes to get all of that set up with my support. So well done because you did do the work. But we also
Oh,
didn't stop there. So you really were bitten by the bug. And I remember this was only last month, really, wasn't it? Where
yeah.
you were super busy and you knew that you wanted to squeeze in another promo. Was it before we broke up for school holidays for Easter?
Yeah. And that was the driver, because I knew I was about to go into 3 weeks of my kids at home.
Yeah.
Um, I was looking at my figures, and I think I said to you, I don't want to be like having to make sales in April, because
You
I would like to have that done and dusted for that to be set up. So I normally take around 5 people a month. So what I wanted to do was try and backfill, to make sure that I had March and April set to go. So I didn't really have to think about anything until approaching May. So that was the kind of the task was, can I front load my sales into my highest ticket?
Yeah, I was going to say your highest
Several thousand
ticket.
pounds, yeah.
Hmm.
hmm and sort of looked at all the formats that we'd already tried, and thought, well, let's do a webinar. Let's see
Yeah.
if this is a good one. So um,
And you'd never done a live webinar before either for your business.
I'd never done a live
So
webinar. Yeah.
you
And
really took the bull by the horns and did it.
yeah, with you, but absolutely with your support and guidance. I
Mhm.
think a skill that you really have is you are able to see what matters, what
Yeah.
tasks need to happen, and you clear the fluff, and it's like, just do these things. But you're
Yeah.
also just really excellent at being like, have you done it? And I think
Yeah.
we achieved so much in 3 months, like 3 different campaigns, all of
Yeah.
which were brilliant, because you kept me on the ball. You kept me on the ball.
Yeah,
So
I knew what you needed to do. So as long as we had all of the assets and the strategy in place and I could
yeah,
give you timelines to get things done and sent back to me,
yeah,
then we were
exactly.
good. So I will say that you held up your end of the deal as well and did all of the things together. But I know you were super motivated to get all of this work completed and get the stats in and the data so you can rinse and repeat. So tell us a little bit more about the results from that then, because I know it was a really good outcome for you and a good month.
It was really good. So bearing in mind I'd never done a webinar before,
Hmm.
we put it out there. We did use a bit of social media on this as well, but there was a
Yeah.
heavy, very, very strong and very strategic email plan to that, which I definitely could not have done by myself. And we put it out there, and I think I said to you, should we just go for like, and we were looking at some data, and I was like, I'm just going to pick a really stretch number,
Yeah.
180 people. As soon as I said it, I was like,
To
really?
register for the masterclass, right?
Really?
So that was your stretch
180 to
goal.
register.
Hmm.
That was it. It was like to register for the master, 180 people. And then off we went. And as the days went by, again, ping, 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 people have signed up, and it
Yeah.
kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going. Um, and in the end, we had 183 people
Yeah.
sign up for the webinar.
And then
But
you were
also,
nervous.
and
So
then
you
I
got to
was
do
like,
it.
oh dang, because I was like, this will just be like 20 people. I just do whatever. So I was like, oh dang, I was nervous, but it was fine because you helped me build the webinar as well. So
Hmm.
I wasn't stressed about that. And we had over 50% of people attend live.
So
So,
good.
which is amazing for live webinars like
Yeah.
that conversion rate. And I absolutely think that's because, again, you helped me to position it behind the scenes in
Hmm.
terms of why turning up live was the right thing. And that I never would have thought to do that. That you helped me do it in a way that people were excited to actually
Yeah.
come to that webinar. Um, and so then, we had to see what was going to happen. We opened doors to my to Ignite, which is my highest ticket program, and we did it because I ended up with 9 people coming
Hmm.
in for March, which is the largest cohort by far that I've ever had, monthly
Yeah.
cohort, and that was a 30K launch.
Mhm.
So that was like,
Well done.
okay, all right, now we're talking. This is the the real deal. So that was extremely cool and allowed me. It's not like, oh, yeah, it's about, it was great because it was a great cash injection.
Mhm.
It was fantastic because I reached the people I really wanted to reach, and the people that came via the masterclass, they're just amazing clients as well, right?
Yep.
Amazing people I want to work with. But it also just meant that I could take April to be with my kids and not stress about, oh, dang, I've got to sign up some more people for April. I've still got some spaces left, or I need to get on sales calls. None of that. Like I'd done it. So it was
Yep.
done. We got the cohort up and running. And that was a massive relief for me and a new way of working for me to know that I can create these sort of launches, I guess, with
That
fantastic
conversion event, I guess. Yep.
conversion event. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that it actually works when you use the right strategy and you tap into someone like yourself who has the expertise in that space. You can't go wrong. And you know, it's so clear to me that it's like, well, this is obviously what we just need to keep doing. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. And I
yeah.
think the bit about reaching people is really important because you have a really big and engaged LinkedIn audience. Is it around 20,000 followers? You've got a lot of people.
Across all my platforms, it's about 20,000. I think I've
Yeah.
done
But
LinkedIn
we
maybe.
know that reach is really iffy sometimes. And you can have your content that really takes off. A lot of your storytelling stuff gets a lot of comments. But when you try and promote, it can be challenging to get the same amount of reach that you would as something that's not selling. So for you to be able to use a much smaller audience in your email list, you do not have 20,000 people on your email list. We should say your email list is relatively modest.
Oh,
To be
yeah.
able to reach people that way and get them to come to the event, show up live, and then engage with the sales activity afterwards really was a game changer and feels less risky than trying to do it all just on LinkedIn, for example.
Absolutely. And I think it's really key as well to note that, like, I don't have a gigantic email list. I have a small email list. So
Mhm.
this type of work works even if you've got a little mini list.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing to me. Actually, if you think about the conversion figures, like
Yeah,
it's
percentage
huge,
wise.
percentage wise, is huge because there's nowhere near 20,000 people on my list. Nowhere near. I've got the smallest baby list. And I used to think, oh, well, email marketing isn't worth it because I've got a tiny list.
Mm.
Wrong. That is so incorrect because actually, even the tiniest of lists can
If you know
convert
how to use it.
if you know what to do and you're working with someone like you who knows what to do with it. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's been
Well,
great.
thank you, Tanya.
Oh,
There's so
thank you.
much in there, but I think, overall, I want to say well done to you because you did the work, and I'm so proud of everything that we've achieved together. You made so much money, so many conversions, and you've got all of those wonderful clients now that you're working with, and you can rinse and repeat these moving forward. So now you've put the graft in and created it. The world is your email marketing oyster, shall we say?
It's
So
been
if people want
amazing.
to
Thank
find
you.
you, oh, sorry, there's one more question, which I think we've
Yeah.
kind of answered, but just if anybody's thinking about working with me on their messaging, marketing strategy, and their email marketing, what would you say, Tanya?
Don't even think about it. Just do it. Just do it because the proof is in the pudding. Like, I don't know what more I could say, like, beyond this interview to be
Yeah.
like, it's a no-brainer choice. Like, just do it. It will be worth it. You will make back your investment
Triple it,
within
maybe.
within weeks, you know. You will absolutely, and then some. But more than that, you gain the strategy, you gain the tools, you can rinse and repeat. Like, it's literally a no-brainer. So that's what I would say.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tanya. What a great place to end. So if you
Pleasure.
want to find Tanya, she's over on LinkedIn at
Yeah.
Tanya Edgar. You
Yeah.
can go and connect with her there.
Mhm.
And I'll say thank you very much and
Thank
cheers for all
you.
the hard work.
You've been amazing. You too. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.